What do you get when you cross Area 51 with Burning Man? You get Skyreach Village, my first fleshed out sandbox location. And today I'm going to walk you through steps 23 through 26 of the 33 steps from the process I've been using found in Rob Connolly's book, How to Make a Fantasy Sandbox. Link below if you're interested. Hey Dice Rollers, Paul here, and I'll be your DM for a while, and I'm excited to show you my progress as I build out this region of Skyreach. And listen, if you enjoy videos about world building, DM tips, and reviews with an old school slant, please consider subscribing to the channel. So go ahead and grab your alien probe and welded metal art, and let's head over to Skyreach. All right, here we are, the land of Skyreach, my system neutral setting. You can drop it anywhere in any of your games that you may be playing. And as you can see here, focusing on Guardian Grove, which is the southeast region of Skyreach. And so here are the steps that I'm going to be covering today. Step 23 are 6 to 12 regional encounters. Step 24 is 4 to 6 locales drawn out. Step 25 is a starting location. And step 26 are fantasy shops. So let's go ahead and move along here. This is the map, by the way, of the southeast region, and you get this map, by the way, when you if you decide you like this world and you think this is pretty cool. My latest issue of Crit Happens, my zine that I've been publishing this setting through, it comes with these maps. So they are set to 11 by 17. So if you're interested, you can take those, print them off, but you get like 5 or 6 different styles of this map, and then you can use it however you want to use it, just by getting the zine right here, number 10. And so we're going to be focusing on today, we're going to be focusing on Skyreach right here. So let's move along. So, but before we do that, let's go ahead and go to the 6 to 12 things that could happen anywhere. So I'm going to put a bunch of, these are just a bunch of hooks, adventure hooks, I'm going to put out there that could happen anywhere in the region, wherever your players' characters may be stumbling around. So here we have just a few of these. We have, you enter a field and find 1d8 recently deceased bodies wrapped in blighted vines. Weapons are drawn and strewn about. So it gives you an idea that in this area, be careful where you step. Be careful of those blighted things, because there's a creature here who likes blight. Just beyond the trees, you see what looks like 1d12 priests of Wraith, demigod of shadows conducting a ritual. Oh my, trouble ensues. You come upon an excavation site where members of the Order of the Silver Quill are digging. Now, the Order of the Silver Quill is a educational spot within Guardian Grove, within the city. And they do a lot of research. They're a research team. So there are explorers, there are excavators, there are historians. And I think it'll be a pretty cool location that player characters can visit when they need a bit of history, maybe. Or maybe the Silver Quill will discover new things about the area that we've never known before. So having this organization in the game will prove to produce even more adventure hooks and those kind of things. As you walk along the trade route, you see what looks like a metal-encased wagon racing towards you, bearing the Skyreach crest. And we'll get into more why that is. I am going to name this trade route something different. I couldn't come up with a name just yet, but I think as I begin to think about it, I'll come up with something. You're welcome to leave your comments below. What would you name a trade route once you see the video? If you have a name for a trade route, go ahead and leave that down there. It maybe has a little history to it, something that speaks to the area, that kind of thing. That's what I'm shooting for. A scouting party from Guardian Grove emerges, let's correct that, emerges from the woods with cages filled with undead squirrels. Because there's reasons for that. While traveling along the Salus River, you see a crew from Riverhaven hauling in a large load, and something is caught in the netting. The men are pointing and yelling. The Street of the Gods is packed with worshippers and visitors as they attend the Lear of Legends competition for bards. Some of the party are asked to be judges. See, not everything is death. There can be you can have nice things until something horrible happens at the the thing at the competition. You never know, right? As you're traveling through Lumiflora, you see 1d8 halflings gathering luminescent plants, and they ask you to be their escorts back to the village. I probably should add in there, but they do not tell you why. Let's go ahead and add that in there. But they do not tell you why. Or maybe they lie about it for whatever reason. So then the mystery, the plot thickens, as they say. And as we move along, now we come to Skyreach Village. So it was asked to, in the book, it tells you to do a quarter page. Well, I don't have a quarter page on here. I said, well, I want to keep it on this. I imagine I could fit it if I had to. But I think this is reasonable just as well. I made this in Canva, and I have numbered the areas that I want. And now I'm going to show you what I've come up with for this, which will then lead us in. This is the part here where, let's see, this is step 20. Let's see. Yep, step 24. So step 23, I gave you the 6 to 12 general encounters. Step 24, most important 4 to 6 most important population locales, and draw a quarter page of each settlement. And so this is what is here. And I like my little drawing, by the way. This is my first village I've ever drawn and really mapped out and given it any kind of clarity. I like it, so I'm pretty happy with it. Then you have Skyreach Village here, and these are what is here. So what you're going to find here, this is called the Ironclad Yards. And this is basically, this is industrial. So this is like an industrial village. So if you've ever seen, like these huge power plants or steel mills, I have one here where I live, and I've driven through and made deliveries there and things like that. And it is a huge place. There's, all kinds of stuff. It's really a city within itself. And that's kind of what this is here. And they make basically these carriages. They make a lot of different carriages. They're into transportation. So it's, carts and those carriages and those kind of things. And this is where they make that, this basically what I'm thinking is a Brinks truck. Now within this, this is called the Slag. And the Slag here is where these guys live. So they live, and the thing about this, people living here and so forth, one of the things on my mind is, if I scroll back to the map, is that we don't know what's west of Skyreach, but somehow I believe that there's something over here to the west of Skyreach where people are coming into Skyreach to work. So they have sleeping quarters just for that purpose. And so you have the Slag. That's where they live. That's going to be important. And this whole area here, like I said, is kind of a complex where, they're building over here, they're making over here, they're doing other things over here. You have here a bar called the Hammer and Spark. And that is going to be their kind of little location. We don't know what's going on over there. But it could be shady, could be not. We'll see. Not everybody is bad in here, right? It's, there's maybe it's a little chaotic, maybe some evil. We'll see. You have the Ironclad Inn, and as you can see where I put my road here, some of these things I put right up against the road because as you're traveling and you see the Ironclad Inn, they want to be close to the road versus being way back here. And then you have the Shops of Skyreach. And you have these two here, which will have, I think I put 8 shops in there. There's going to be 2 on the bottom of each of these. So there's 4 shops in here, 4 shops in here. And then you have the Tower of Aether, which is it's the god of Aether, which deals with order and law and order. And the tower's built here because the Aether Mountains are north of the city of Skyreach. And then we have this, which is the Vale View Amphitheater. And this is just basically a big field of nothing but rocks that you can sit on. Because there's an event here that happens called the Aetherian Veil, where this particular area, the thin veil between worlds, as they say, it gets thin around this time of year. Twice a year it happens. And this place floods. And this is kind of where we're getting the alien the vibe there, the Area 51, and it's like a huge festival like Burning Man where there's things going on there, which kind of just, this is one of those towns. It's a small population, right? You've maybe seen these towns that have huge festivals, but the town itself is small. It's almost like Sturgis that, up in South Dakota does Bike Week. Well, the population there is only 7,000 people, but 700,000 people show up on motorcycles. It's one of those things where it's just this huge event town where people come to see and witness this thing. I also think of the movie Independence Day, where the aliens are coming and people are on top of the roof looking forward to the event. And what's going to happen? And they're like, hey, take me. And then, we know what happens there. If you've seen the movie, it doesn't work out well for them. And so there's those kind of folks that are showing up that hoping things are going to happen, which may or may not happen. This could go horribly wrong. The world is not built out yet. There may be a percentage die maybe at some point, like a table of some kind to see what happens when the Aetherian veil shows up. And then, chaos can abound. We'll see. So then we have, like I said, these shops of Skyreach, and that bothers me that I didn't put my numbers there. I did it with everything else, but I did not do it with that. And I need to make this 6, which is the Tower of Aether. And then we have 7. So I came up with 7 locations. And that is the Tower of Aether, which means Aether is big time worshipped here. And then the Valeview Amphitheater, where everybody will go out into this field, sit on these rocks. They have all these big rocks out there you can sit on, and then watch towards the north where the Aether Mountains are, and see what happens. What happens next? All right, so as we move along here, as we go into Skyreach, I'll give you a brief description. It says the growing village, and I put growing there because there's, like I said, the population isn't very big, the core population, and it should be bigger. I think I have it at 60. I think I have it at 60 people. Yeah, population 60 people, 60 core people, which live there in the, I would say on the other side. So if you look at here, there's probably 60 people who live here in this area, what I would call Skyreach proper. But over here, far more, because there's so many people coming in to work here. So that's how I would, put the population at, is that this is a city unto itself, maybe several hundred people here during working weeks and those kind of things. And there's probably 60 to maybe 100 people, I'll say, here that run the shops, that run the Aether temple, that run the inn, all that kind of stuff. You have to have municipalities, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to say that's kind of where we're at. There's really 2 different cities going on. So the growing village, as I said, of Skyreach is the home of the Starfall Festival, a combination of Burning Man and Area 51, but some of the more mystical residents call the event the Thinning. They are also home to the construction of what they call road hulks, ironclad transport that deliver important cargo. So that's what those Brinks trucks are like. They're road hulks. I'm also thinking about, well, what's going to pull this? Can normal horses pull this? Or will the horses be extraordinary? Or maybe it won't be horses. Maybe it'll be something else. Comments below. You're welcome to share what you think might be pulling these large wagons. And then you have Fargo Slough, a human, and is the ward, mayor basically, of Skyreach, and is a distant relative of the family that founded Skyreach. The Valeview Amphitheater is where crowds of people come to watch the Aetherian veil unfold. And then travelers finding lodge at the Ironclad Inn, run by the dwarf Mabrida Grooster, and strong drink at the Hammer and Spark Tavern, owned by the dwarf Hackreth Broadbelly, whom everyone calls Ironhead. The shops of Skyreach is overseen by the elf Jason Erlar, president of the Chamber of Commerce, whom some don't remember being in Skyreach until after the last Aetherian veil, and others can't remember a time without her. What does that tell you? There we go. There's something going on there. The housing for the workers is called the Slag. However, beneath this unique village tensions brew a mysterious rusting of the vital road hulks, disappearance of a scholar obsessed with the thinning following the last Starfall Festival, and the unsettling rise of veil-worshipping cult shows up. So you have that going on. there is probably the conflict here too is between the mayor, Fargo Slew, and the cast of characters that I'll have over in in the Ironclad, in the industrial district there, in the yards as they call them, the Ironclad yards. And so when we start to kind of really who runs this town is kind of the feel of it. It's almost like a Western in some way, where there's these two separate things. One is industrial and makes most of the money for the town, and then the other side has the huge festival that they do. So there's this competing deal that's going on about who's really in control of Skyreach, and which could result in some fun interactions for your characters. Then step number 25, choose the starting location home base for your campaign. And I have chosen this, number one, because I'm lazy. I could have done, Guardian Grove, but boy, is that going to be a massive undertaking, I think. It's going to take a while. So I'm saying, look, I'm going to go ahead and make home base for PCs, Skyreach Village. And there's a reason for that. Because if they work, let me scroll back up here. If they work here, maybe they drive one of these road hulks, and they work for the company and so forth, that they grew up here. This is their home base. It gives them, and if I scroll up here, it gives them also access to what is out west. Yes, they can reach Guardian Grove. They can go north to Windstone, Aether Mountains. They can, make a trek over here if they want. But I put them here because then they have access then right in the middle between the Land of the Gods and then whatever the next region I'm going to work on. So I'm going to pick Skyreach because it puts them between both worlds and gives them access to the rest of the rest of Kriesh possibly, right? So let's go ahead and go back down here. So I have chosen that, which then leads us to step number 26. And step 26 is fantasy demographies or shops. So let me see what I have here. The shops of Skyreach, which is 4 shops per building, 2 on top, 2 on the bottom. You have a leather crafter, a physician. Now, in the yards, like I said, it's self-contained. So a lot of the things you're going to have that are over there that maybe that Skyreach proper has to pay for or something, you're going to have your metal workers, you're going to have carpenters, you're going to have all those kind of things that are over in that ironclad in the ironclad yards, but that may come at a price, an extra price, right? If you want to get in there. It may cost you something. But in Skyreach proper, you're going to have a leather crafter, a physician. You're also going to have some cleric maybe over at the Aetherian Temple. You're going to have a jeweler, a tailor, a pawn shop, a baker, a souvenir shop. That's key. Because when you come here to the Starfall Festival, you got to have a souvenir shop. Just like when you go to Area 51. I've never been there, but you can buy. There's a lot of souvenir shops where you're buying alien shirts, things like that. So there's kind of a souvenir shop of sorts where you can buy unique things. Maybe something that has slipped through the veil that they're selling there at the souvenir shop, or at least they tell you it slipped through the veil, right? And then you have a general store where you can, get all those things. Plus you have the inn, you have the Ironclad Inn, and maybe a few other little things that are around there that people can do. And like I said, the Yards is an industrial complex with their own stores, a city unto itself, and often in conflict with Skyreach proper. And so, listen, that is my my steps for 23 through 26. I hope that you enjoyed it. I want to let you know that Crit Happens issue 10 is available. There'll be a link down in the show notes where you can get this one. It's only $2. And you can say, well, Paul, I want the whole thing. Well, what can I do about that? Like this has here the towns, brief descriptions, and so forth. Of the different towns that are going to be around the Land of the Gods. You'll get that. There's also the map you're going to get and the different versions you can print off, but you can also get it in a bundle. and you can grab that, and it's not expensive at all. You're getting a zine for free, basically, so you're going to get whatever you're going to get. It's going to be $2 cheaper than if you were to buy them all separately, so you're going to get a free zine in there as well. So go ahead and use the link down below, grab yourself a bundle of fun, and release your players into the world of Skyreach. And listen, if you're interested in more of my creative processes, I'm going to put some playlists here where you can see kind of the origins of the Hex Crawl of Horror, where did this all start, and then my creative process here. You can check the videos in there. I take you through steps 1 through 20, well, as of this, 26 now. You can go through the steps and see where I started, now where I'm at, and then, like I said, be sure to subscribe and you can see where this thing is going. But thank you so much for watching today. Go ahead and click that thumbs up button that tells me you like the video and you want more of them, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day, everybody.